thanks for joining us at 1000 Petaluma Bowls. You know, this is a fundraiser to help us make sure that our community has access to food and the types of food that make for a healthy living. So just a quick overview on what we're going to do and how to paint the bowls. Many of you have done this before. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your bowl, and it's just going to be a white bowl. You're going to take a damp sponge. You're going to wipe it down. It doesn't have to be drenched, but you're going to let it dry. It's important to remember when you're painting your bowls that the layering of color makes the color more intense. So if you want a real intense yellow, you're going to put 3 layers of yellow. You're going to let it dry in between. If you want to cover the whole bowl with a saturated color, this would be applied with a sponge and 3 layers through. The other thing that's important to remember is dark shows through, but light doesn't. So if you're layering colors, it's important to not put the light colors down on the bottom and think that they're going to pop up. It doesn't work that way when you glaze them. The other important piece is if you want it white, you're not going to paint it. You're just going to leave it white. So I've started with my sample bowl. I've wiped it down and I've lightly drawn a design into the bowl with a pencil. Lightly. I'm going to say lightly again. So once you start to put your color on, you can use a lot of different techniques. For example, I want a kind of a fuzzy background, so I'm using the sponge and just dipping it lightly in my color that I want, and I'm just tapping it on. Then as I start to apply color, knowing that I want to have more intense color, for example, I want a yellow flower here, I put 1 coat of yellow. I would add in another coat of yellow using the brush to give it some texture and some deepness. So if I want to kind of outline the colors of the flower, I can just add another color. Then I can take a second color, maybe a little bit darker color, and give it some texture by adding it in this way. Another technique that's really popular is to put the paint on and then to actually scrape the paint off. So I can give the flower more of a texture by scraping the paint off. And then when it gets fired, those light white lines will show up on the color. Again, when you're applying different levels and different intensities of colors, you need to remember that the colors don't, like on a regular painting, feed in and out. They stay very flat. The other important piece is to know that when your colors are going on, they're in a very, very flat tone, but when they get glazed, the colors really pop out. So if you look really closely at this one, the layering of colors to outline the little orange fish, she just put a more color on there. She didn't have to change the color. You're going to receive 3 to 4 colors to use on your bowl. This is a good example of using the sponge to give your bowl texture on the outside. Again, the intensity on how you put it on. This is 3 layers of nautical. So and this was used as a paintbrush. I know that she went around first to get coverage, and then she went this way, and then the third one was around this way to make sure that the color is intense, because it will, when you glaze it, pick up spots that you miss. Another technique is using the back end of your paintbrush to make the dots and do those kinds of things. Dots are really fun. Again, paying close attention to your intensity. The last thing you're going to do is you're going to take your bowl and you're going to take a Sharpie or a pencil, and you're going to write really clearly on the bottom of your bowl your name and the year. It's hard to even write 2020, but we're going to put 2020 on it. We're going to take your name written as clearly as you can and use a special pencil so that when it gets glazed, we will actually be able to tell whose bowl it is. So thank you for joining us. Your party host will have sheets with more instructions and more directions. I'll be zooming in to spend a little time with you, and we're so excited that you're helping us with 1000 Petaluma Bowls, because somebody you know missed a meal today.